So I think this is a 7 out of 10 movie. What do you got, Sarah?
A 7 out of 10?
Only because after...
It is times like this I'm reminded how much that... I know we're only 3 years apart, but when we were teenagers, those were very big 3 years.
Yeah, that's true. But, no, it wasn't the style of movie that I watched at the time, right?
Uh-huh.
And on watching it, as I've seen it the 3 or 4 times that I've seen it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because of the incident, because of Brandon Lee's death on set,
Mm-hmm.
or during production,
Mm-hmm.
right? And this would have happened if he had died by getting hit by a car or something like that, right? The film felt a little disjointed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not the filmmaker's fault. That's just the way it is. I mean, look, I like the movie, and you can't tell where Brandon Lee ends and The Crow begins.
Right.
So they kind of like the Heath Ledger thing with
the Joker.
It was a very, very emotional mind part. But it did make it jarring in parts. So it took a little bit of the enjoyment away from me. Because when I first watched this movie, I didn't know that Brandon Lee was killed on set.
Right.
So at the time, I just thought,
right.
this is a little out of order. This is a little
right
missing some stuff. And now knowing what I know, it's hard to shift that first watch out of it. But it's still a great movie. It's shot well. It looks fantastic. The score is great.
Right.
But because of the jarring,
but you also have to understand the zeitgeist at the time, because we were just coming. We're in mid grunge. Actually, we're tail end of grunge. The movie came out a month after Kurt died.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's that grief and the alternative grunge scene.
Yeah.
There's that huge grief. Nothing is going to everything sucks.
Yeah.
Nothing will ever be the same. And then this movie comes on that personifies this rage and this sadness and this grief. And it's got the cult following anyway because of the comic books. But then it comes in, and then it's made even worse because it's a beautifully shot movie, and my God, the dude died making it. Yeah. And so, because of the timing, because Kurt passed in April, and this came out in May.
Yeah.
And that might have had something to do with why they released it when they did too, because it fit. And it was therapy, and it sucked, and you cried, but it can't rain all the time.
Yeah. But
so this, and you have to also understand, at the time, I was we didn't have emo then, but I was a very dramatic 13-year-old girl, okay, whose name was also Sarah.
Yeah.
And the girl in the movie was like 14, and her name was Sarah, and she was going through it too. And so all of us little 13, 14, 15-year-old girls named Sarah, like, we saw ourselves, bam, we were there. So, I mean, this movie is a 47 out of 10 for me. Okay. Always.
Well, like I said, it's nothing personal. It's just,
I know. It's
that first watch. I haven't been able to get over the first watch.
Right. And again, at the time you were 10 when it came out. So when it came out, it wouldn't have, and plus you were in the UK.
Yeah.
It would not have resonated with you the way that it did here.
And I didn't see it until I was 16 in college. Right. Because for most people who don't know, yes, I'm an audio student, but I was a film student at the same time.
Right.
And that's part of the reason why I looked at it critical, because the first time I watched this movie was around about the same time. We watched like 3 or 4 different movies in the style, right? And what I mean by the style, it was low budget, gritty, right? So it was A Clockwork Orange, which had just been approved for UK audiences again after Kubrick pulled it after he died,
right?
Texas Chainsaw, the original, which was again grainy and and visceral and everything like that, and then The Crow,
right?
And as a 16-year-old watching it, I got the music video aspect of it, check.
Right?
I got the gothic nature of it, check. But man, this plot seems to be all over the place towards the middle of the movie,
right?
and it kind of straightens up again at the end of the movie, but that middle part of the movie, it's all over the place, and you're thinking, what happened here?
Right.
And it was only after watching it were we told, oh yeah, by the way, the guy playing the Crow was killed on set during this thing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, well, it makes sense, but after watching, if we were told that going in, as opposed to being told afterwards, I could justify it.
Right.
I mean, look, it's a classic. It's a true classic, and 7 out of 10 is not as bad for this kind of movie as a 6 out of 10 for Speed or something like that,
Right.
It's only because...
Go ahead.
It's only because of the plot. Nothing to do with any of the outside circumstances.
I know. I think, it's one of those movies that it hit hard at the time that it was in. There's this, I don't want to say the stars aligned, because people leaving too soon just suck.
Yeah.
But, it fit. It really, culturally, at the time, it hit at the perfect moment. And it's so crap. And the fact that the soundtrack used a lot of the contemporary, music at the time. So it was the shoot, the visualization and the sound seemed like Detroit, Seattle. It's dirty. It's rainy. You've got the music, you've got the alternative music going. I mean, it screams that time, and it's done, especially considering the limitations with, Lee passing and what they could do cinematically at the time and whatnot. It's beautiful. It is a cinematic masterpiece.
Well, do you think this visually was like the end of that era? And what I mean by that is, Kurt Cobain has died. This movie comes out that, has a happy ending for what it's worth.
It's not happy.
For what it's worth.
It's the ending, happy.
Not happy, but it wraps everything up.
It does wrap it up. Do I think... I don't know. There is a feeling of the party's over.
Okay.